Welcome to the virtual race brief for the Chester Ultra 100 mile. My name is Wayne Drinkwater and I am the Event Director at GB Ultras, and today we're going to talk you through some of the key points that you may need to know for the race itself. The start venue for the race is at Ellesmere Port Sports Village Athletics Track, and there may be some parking limitations at the start venue, so please respect decisions by car park marshals. Please also park in the locality. For race registration, you'll find the athletics track and the outbuilding at the rear of the complex. The outbuilding is race registration and the athletics track is your race start and race finish. Race registration is available on the Friday prior to the event from 5:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. Alternatively, you can collect your bib number and your GB race tracker from the event team at race registration on the Saturday morning of the event from 4:15 a.m. until 5:30 a.m. Participants have the option of utilising drop bags for the Chester Ultra 100 mile. We can take certain drop bags to set checkpoints during the race itself. The drop bag can be maybe a change of kit, changing shoes, extra nutrition and supplies, something along those lines. If you have a support crew for the duration of the event, then these may not be required. When you've collected your race number at race registration, you'll also collect some drop bag labels that you can securely fasten to your drop bag. The label identifies your unique bib number for the race. If you have pre-ordered one of the GB Ultras technical t-shirts for the event, you can pick that up at race registration along with having a look at the other merchandise that we have available. When you collect your GB race tracker at race registration on the Saturday morning of the event, it's already switched on, so all you have to do is securely fasten it to your pack. There is a Velcro fastener just on the rear of the tracker that allows you to securely fasten the tracker to the shoulder strap or the back of your pack. The tracking is updated at 2-minute intervals, providing there is signal. Please ensure that you hand your tracker back to the event team at the finish line of the event. Alternatively, if you decide not to continue during the race, please ensure that you hand your tracker back to the event team at a checkpoint. The race starts at 6 a.m. sharp. Please advise your support crews who have parked on site at Ellesmere Port Sports Village that vehicle movement is not permitted until all runners have passed through the car park. Please ensure that you have your head torch switched on when leaving the start venue to ensure visibility is maximised when you're crossing the initial road sections, and prepare to stop at all road crossings. During the Chester Ultra 100 mile race route, we'll use a number of route markings. We have red biodegradable tape, which is every 20 or 30 metres, depending on how easy that section is. If it's on a canal and there's no detours, then each marker may be a little bit further than that. Equally, when it comes to a turn or a junction, we may well have a number of markers just on that section. If you look at the race route and a map of the race itself, you'll find that there's distinctive trails that we use to help keep people en route. The route itself for the Chester Ultra 100 mile is made up of certain sections. For the 100 miles, we initially follow the Shropshire Canal. The Shropshire Canal then links to the Sandstone Trail. The Sandstone Trail is a national trail which you'll be following, and it is incredibly well marked, but we'll also have our red markers up, as well as using laminated arrow signs just to help keep you en route. From Frodsham, you'll join trails beside the River Weaver and then follow the Bridgewater Canal to Warrington. It's then onto the Trans-Pennine Trail, a really well marked route again, to Runcorn before making your way over to Frodsham via the Bridgewater Canal and the River Weaver again. When you reach Frodsham, you'll then join onto the North Cheshire Way. The North Cheshire Way again is a really well marked route, and it will take you to Helsby Hill. Towards the end of the race, you'll also join back onto the Shropshire Canal to the finish. Checkpoint locations for the Chester Ultra 100 mile race. Checkpoint 1 is at 8.8 miles into the race, and that's at Towers Road beside the Shropshire Canal. Support teams are permitted at Checkpoint 1, but please take note of the parking limitations that we have at the location and use the local pay and display car park so as not to impact the roads and access and egress to the race route in an emergency. Checkpoint 2 is at 13 miles into the race, and again that's at Towers Road beside the Shropshire Canal. Please advise your support teams accordingly again. Checkpoint 3 is at 17 miles into the race, and that is at Waverton Village Hall. You'll then join onto the Shropshire Canal, and this will eventually lead to the Sandstone Trail. Leaving the Shropshire Canal, you'll initially turn right for a short out and back to Peckforton and Beeston Village Hall, which is checkpoint 4 at 27 miles on the Sandstone Trail. You'll then retrace your footsteps on the Sandstone Trail and head in the opposite direction towards Delamere Forest. Checkpoint 5 is at 40 miles into the race, and that's at Barnesbridge Car Park at Delamere Forest. Support teams are welcome, but please advise them to park at the Visitor Centre a short walk away. Checkpoint 6 takes you into the heart of Frodsham at our new venue, Frodsham Parish Hall. Support teams are welcome and toilets are available for runners. You'll then leave the checkpoint and join trails beside the River Weaver and the Bridgewater Canal. We've decided to add additional support for the Chester Ultra 100 miles, so we've added 2 additional checkpoints. Checkpoint 7 is at 56 miles into the race, and that is at Preston Brook Village Hall. No support teams are permitted at this venue. The Bridgewater Canal then takes you to Checkpoint 8 at Stockton Heath, Sandy Lane Community Centre at 61.7 miles. Support teams are welcome, but again, just be mindful of local residents and the time that you might be arriving. It's then on to the Trans-Pennine Trail and on to Checkpoint 9 at Spike Island, Widnes. Support teams are welcome. Again, just be aware of what time you're arriving and ask them to keep noise down to a minimum. Once you leave the Spike Island checkpoint, you'll then be crossing the Runcorn Bridge and you'll join back onto the Bridgewater Canal. Checkpoint 10 is at 76 miles and that is at Preston Brook Village Hall. No support teams are permitted at this venue. Checkpoint 11 is at 85 miles into the race and that's at Frodsham Parish Hall. Support teams are welcome and this is the new venue in Frodsham. You'll then join onto the North Cheshire Way. Checkpoint 12 is at 91 miles into the race at Albanley Village Hall. No support teams are permitted at this venue. After leaving Checkpoint 12, the trails will then lead onto the River Gowie and back onto the Shropshire Canal. The Shropshire Canal will then take you back to Ellesmere Port and to the finish at the Sports Village and the athletics track at the rear of the complex, where we'll be waiting for you there. Please respect any support crew restrictions that we might have in place. At nighttime locations, please be quiet and respectful at all times. The GPX is available to download off the GB Ultras website for the event. If there are any diversions in the lead up to the event, we will let participants know via email and issue a new GPX for the race. The diversions sometimes are essential works deemed necessary by the local authority or the landowner. It is out of our hands, but we will ensure that a diversion is suitably marked if needed. Route marking and course rechecks will take place in the lead up to the race itself, but please bear in mind that sometimes route markers are taken down by passers-by in a lead up to the race. It might be that the trail leads you beside a watercourse, for example, such as a canal or river, so take extra special care here, just purely because it might be uneven terrain and it might be quite slippy. You're allowed a pacer from 50 mile onwards on the 100-mile race. This should be one pacer only at any one time, and they should not be carrying any of your mandatory kit for you. For the mandatory kits, in the lead up to the race, please ensure that you look over the mandatory kit video, which is being done by Laura Yates, one of the race director team. The mandatory kit is the minimum standard kit that you must carry for the race. If you want to carry anything extra, by all means, feel free to do so. But this is a minimum standard kit, the safety kit that we need you to carry at all times during an ultramarathon. The weather conditions can change quite rapidly during this time of the year, so maybe utilise the drop bags for extra dry kit and possibly another base layer at night time. That is why the mandatory kit is there, because there may well be changes in the conditions of the race and how you feel during the race. There may be a poor weather forecast for the day. If this is the case, we may well add extra kits to the mandatory kit list, such as waterproof trousers. There will be random kit checks during the race and also potentially at the finish line. If you are found not to be carrying the mandatory kit for the race, you could be disqualified, or there may well be time penalties imposed. It's important that we all play our part to respect the environment that we're in. During an ultramarathon, you'll often be eating on the move to keep the energy up. When you eat any of your snacks, be aware of any litter that you have during a race. Make sure it's nice and secure in a dedicated pocket on your pack. Please ensure that if you are using that pocket for anything else, maybe your mobile phone, that you don't accidentally drop any litter out of your pocket when you take your phone out. Maybe just use a dedicated area of your pack or a dedicated pocket. When you come into a checkpoint during a race, please make sure that you unload all of your litter so it reduces the risk of any litter going on the route. As you'll have noticed on the mandatory kit video for the race itself, our events at GB Ultras are plastic cup-free events, so please bring your own cup for checkpoint nutrition. This leads on to the emergency instructions for the event. If there is a minor injury, please let a checkpoint, a marshal or race HQ know. Only in an emergency where there's a risk to life or limb, please follow these instructions. Number 1, put on any spare clothing to keep warm and use your thermal survival bag. Number 2, trigger the SOS button on the front of your tracker. On the front of your tracker, just underneath the race tracker logo, there is an SOS button. Hold it down for approximately 3 seconds and this will alert Race HQ. Please note that's no substitute for speaking to Race HQ on the phone. Number 3, if there is a risk to life or limb, please call 999 and ask for an ambulance. Number 4, inform Race HQ by calling the numbers for Race HQ that should be saved on your phone. Number 5, attract the attention of fellow participants or passers-by by using your whistle or shouting. This now completes a virtual race brief for the Chester Ultra 100 mile. Thanks so much for watching. If you do have any questions, please feel free to email the team at events@gbultras.com in the lead up to the event. If it is race week and we might be out marking the routes, setting up at the event, or if it's 1 or 2 days before, we can't guarantee a reply. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to welcoming you to the Chester Ultra 100 mile ultramarathon on race day.